Today we are in Kyneton, where there is a hive in behind this. This meter box is no longer used. They don't believe the power's connected, but we always treat wires as if power's connected for the off chance that it is actually connected. So we'll cut the boards that are longer, but the shorter ones will pull off. So there'll only be 2 cuts. The hive doesn't seem to go all the way down to the meter box, so hopefully I don't have to do the 3rd cut. But yep, we'll get started and see what happens. This is most of the hive exposed. It's been there a long time and it is honestly bigger than expected. The thermal camera didn't show the full state of the hive. The hive goes down lower, but I could probably take that board off, but I'm going to try not to because it'll be a nuisance putting it back on for the landowner. So yeah, and of course we've got to work around all those electrical wires. So it's going to be interesting, but we'll get there. You can see that tangled web of electrical wires really makes things difficult with the hive weaving in and out of it. I've obviously taken out the bottom half or bottom part of the hive, and we've got eggs forming over there. So most of the, if I see brood, it'll be on this side of the hive. Unfortunately, there is a gap between the timber and the plaster, so the bees have made their way into this cavity. Odds on the queen's in there as well. Oh well, we'll get the hive out and then get the queen. There we go, so got most of it out so far. It's still all twisty and turny and wrapped around the wires, but we're getting there. Queen's still behind the isolation. I'm just not worrying about getting her until I get all the comb out. Just that way it's a little bit easier for me. So we're well on the way. There we go. So on the whole, the comb's out of the hive. Although even though the bees are clustering up in that corner, the queen is still in the cavity next door behind this isolation. I'll scoop a bunch of these bees, just clear out the cavity a bit more, and then I'll peel back this isolation and get the queen. So you can see, peeling back this isolation, there's a considerable number of bees here. And the queen is in amongst them. We'll grab her out in a second. There we go, so 7 frames of resources, only half a frame of eggs and brood. Just got the queen from the cluster that was left, so there we go, she's running up the middle of the cage. She's at the top left now. So, there we go, flip it. There we go, very close look at the queen. Okay, so as always we'll dangle her between some frames and then we can just set the hive box up on there, and the rest of the bees tomorrow, once it's warmer, will move in. There we go, so I've set up the ladder. The timbers are strapped really firmly, those timbers don't move at all, and most of the bees have made their way into the hive. It's starting to get a bit chilly now, so the rest are probably not going to work their way in tonight. I will scoop some more just to, because there is a couple of handfuls there, but a huge majority of the bees are already in the hive. So there we go. I'll come back either tomorrow night or the night after to take it away. And there we go. Almost all the bees made it into the hive. There's obviously a few that didn't, but yeah, it was a couple of days. The weather was relatively good, so most of them made it into the hive. So another successful